Hi, my name is Arik, and I'm the developer of Astrology, which is the wellness application of astrology using archetypes and working with your chart and everything. And I'm going to be showing you an actual live demo of a surrogate session, which is when I have somebody serve as the person if they can't come in or if they're somewhere else on the globe. Then we can do like these long distance healings. So this is a live session. I don't know what's going to come up, but I'll keep it anonymous to not tell who the person is. And so sit back and enjoy. Okay. So, good. Okay. So we're just going to check health is good.
Health is good.
Wealth is good.
Wealth is good.
Okay.
Sex is good.
Okay, very good. All right. So those are the first 3 points that are really important to check. I teach about it in workshops, and then before any kind of healing is going on, to make sure that it's staying and whatnot. Okay, perfect. Okay, so again. Okay, so I have your chart here, and so you are a Libra, and we are in the season of Libra, and we're approaching the full moon in Libra, which will be in Aries pretty soon, in a couple days here. So I'm just checking to see where we need to begin in this balancing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So one of the things that you wanted to work on with me is low self-esteem, and that's coming up now. You said this affects you about 25% of the time in your life. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, so okay, so what's coming up as the actual priority is the financial meltdown. So I don't know all the details, but it really doesn't matter because we can just get in there and see what's going on. Okay, and hold. Good. And hold. Okay, good. So that's okay. So I know you've done a lot of work around yourself. Okay, we need some more information. Okay, let's see. Interesting. I think. Are you left-handed? I think you are left-handed because sometimes in left-handed people, the right brain is dominant. So this is not creativity so much. This is like more like fantasy and imagination, which can enhance fears, and which is good for artistic work, but it can enhance fears sometimes. So. I'm picking up some of that just right off the bat. Okay. So we need to work with the natal chart. So let's see. And we're working with a house. So let's see. Okay. So the astrological houses are the various realms where all the energy of our world is actually manifesting, okay? And for you, this is falling into, like, where we need to work is into I have it here, the 4th house. And there you have one of the points that I work with, and the chart's called the black moon. Okay, so we're working with the black moon, yes, okay. And the black moon is kind of like this area where it's this archetype which will affect the area where it is where we just go into pessimism, we go into cynicism, we listen to the ego, we believe all the kind of negative things that are, being whispered to us, and it really just sucks us in, amongst many other things. And in the 4th house, the 4th house is the house of I feel, the feelings and emotions. So it's a big time emotion that is we're working with here. Okay. In regards to this low self-esteem. Okay, so let's narrow down what those emotions are. Let me see here. So this is 4th house, and it's you have it in Aries. Oh, and the full moon is in Aries, so I think this is kind of becoming a little bit stronger because the full moon is going to be in alignment with the black moon, and it's going to enhance it. So it's a really good opportunity to melt it down. And meditation, one of my virtual rituals for the full moon in Aries, for example. Okay, so let's see, what's the emotion? Okay, so part of it is distraction, and the other part is familiarity, like being familiar with things. This is like the 2 emotions that are coming up, which makes sense because if you had financial meltdown, then there's like this element of feeling familiar about how the way things were and being unable to let that go. At the same time, the distraction component can kick in where it wants to kind of like take you out of being present about what's going on, and kind of like just, like I said, with that right brain energy, it can make it, just overwhelm it. Okay, so the right brain, the right hemisphere is in overdrive. So we're gonna get to all that. So okay, more information. Okay, we need to work on each emotion separately. So let's see which one the priority is. So it's the distraction. Okay, hold, good. Hold. Okay, so there's like 3rd stage stress of distracting, like being distracted. Okay, so let's just have a check here. Hold. 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 Okay, so this is like really deep hidden survival stress around being distracted, like where it gets you to the point like where you completely just check out of reality, like just and it's really easy to do that, especially like with phones and the internet and Netflix and news, fake news, whatever, like all this, really just being distracted. A lot of things can happen here. Okay, so we're ready to balance this out. What are we doing? Okay, tuning for a combo. Okay. So that's the moon meridian. Okay, so it's the moon meridian, and then it's Scorpio. So that's the moon and Pluto tuning forks. We're going to say some nice, beautiful things. It's okay? And what's coming up even deeper is like, feeling pestered or oblivious to what's going on. And I have, let's see, some Okay. Okay. So these are my planetary tuning forks. They work like acupuncture, but they don't penetrate the skin, and like they just transmit the vibration. This case, it's the moon of 210 hertz and Pluto, which is again all about upgrade and being able to grow out of your environment. Well, actually no, it's more about like just really getting that resurrection energy. And the moon is of course our reactive nature, our intuition, other things like that. So, and they are also connected with the High Priestess and Judgment in the tarot. But they will transfer the vibrational energy to help resolve this. This is all about distraction. So I'm going to read something to you. Pluto is very powerful. I had to have it specially made because the authorities, so this data comes from NASA and they don't want to say Pluto is a planet now, but they've been doing it for years and they're going to change it again, but it's just one of those things, you know? I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly, and supportively transmute how I allow myself to fall prey to another's persuasion into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly, and supportively take responsibility for owning who I am, show a quiet confidence that inspires and nurtures others, easily give off myself to others, and rest confidently in a knowledge of my essential identity. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, that's in regards to distraction. Distraction is gone. Now let's check with the familiarity. Not ready to work on that one yet. We have to do some other things first. What do we need to do? Where do we need to go? Some chakra. Okay. So crown, throat, heart, and sexual. So that's Mercury, Venus, Jupiter. Okay. Okay, so that's crown, throat, heart, and sexual chakra. So I'm just gonna, put all those in. Okay. Who's the priority? Yeah, so normally you want to work from the bottom up when you're working with chakras, because if there's a blockage here, then everything else above it is blocked. So maybe if we unlock the block here in the second chakra, which is connect. Well, actually, by the way, chakras. That's a Hindu word. I actually just call them vortexes. So just know that when I say vortex, I mean chakra. So this is, and each vortex is ruled by another planet. So this is the Mars vortex, which we need to work with. And I'm going to just grab my notes to see exactly which part of the Mars vortex that we need to work with. Just a second. This is the Mars vortex. Okay, what's coming up is opposites. Social consciousness, like your commitment to the world. And are there any physical problems? Yes. Digestion. Immune issues. Okay, so digestion and immune issues, mental issues, the need to understand, and temple headaches, emotional problems, not right now. Okay, so let's see, what are we doing? Okay, so we're going to work on the mental problems first, the need to understand. Okay, so in relation to the need to understand, hold, okay. Yeah, nothing. Okay, so we're gonna do the balancing around that. So that, like, the need to understand can be really stressful, and like it's just activating all the survival issues, like conscious and hidden only. So that's pretty good. Bring your arms up like this, straight up. Hold. Good. So it's good there. It's just more this conscious needing to know, and this unconscious needing to know, like, I really need to know what's going on with that, like, otherwise, you know, I cannot let it go. Like, it gets a little bit crazy sometimes. So, let's see, more information. The houses, okay, so let's see, the need to know, okay, so where it's showing up is actually in your 10th house, and you have like a gazillion planets in your 10th house. You have Mars and actually you have Mars there, so that's actually good enough. So it's in the 10th house is about authority, it's about control. So when you have this power of authority, when you have this, you know, when you have this knowledge, like, you know, when you have that addiction to the need to know, right? Then you feel like you're in control, like you feel like you're in power. But this is the ego, right? This, like, we can only really control ourselves, and needing to know something is not going to give us like more control over ourselves, right? Now, of course, you can educate yourself, and that, but you still, like, when it comes down to it, like, controlling yourself just comes up to you. Like, that could be like controlling your need to know, because sometimes needing to know things can cross boundaries. Again, it can, you know, just give more fuel for that, you know, out of balance right hemisphere. Let's just check. Yeah. So who cares about all that? We're just going to balance it out. Do you need more information? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and also, because the sun is transiting through Libra, through your 10th house, Mars is also transiting through Libra. It's going to be entering into your 10th house pretty soon here. So you're going to have your Mars return in about 10 degrees. So this is a really good opportunity for you to really break down these things, because Mars is all about, again, growing out of habits, growing out of old environments. And so we're going to check it out here with the Mars tuning fork. Okay. We're going to do it again, same place. And we're going to do it on the Venus vortex, actually. hold, good, hold, good, perfect. Okay. Need to know, hold, wonderful. Okay, so the need to know, checked off. Do we have still emotional problems linked in? Yep. No, we're good. Okay, so let's see. Opposites, movement. Okay, so anything else from sex? No, okay. The Mars vortex is balanced. Good. And see if that opened up the heart. Yep. Opened up the throat. Yep. Okay, and that opened up all the other chakras. So let me just make sure that all of them are okay now. So. Okay, good. Now let's see if we can get into the familiarity, which is, again, it's the 4th house is what's familiar. It's opposite the 10th house, which is outside. So, can we go into the familiar? Still not. We need to. Wait, can we go into the familiar? No, we need to do something else. Where are we stuck with an archetype? Okay, row 1, row 2, row 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's the Capricorn archetype where we're getting stuck. Do we need to work with the question? Yes, okay. So I have various questions for each of the archetypes. Each archetype has many questions. So I'm going to figure out which one you need. So Capricorn, of course, is connected to the devil archetype. So we're going to check and see. So when we're working with questions, we work with the understanding that the question is more important than the answer. Because the question creates a vessel. Okay, so in this case it's actually the first question, which is what kind of resistance, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, is prevalent in my environment? So this is a question that you need. And there is also an essential oil. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have to do some work around this question, because when you ask the question from the right place, the right answer will come, always. But if there's something around the question, like resistance in and of itself, it can block the wisdom from coming through, right? So we need to work on that. And yeah, it threw you into a hidden survival issue. So let's see. So I'm just going to work on that so that the answer can come through properly. Okay, what's coming up actually is rose quartz. So I have some rose quartz here. Okay, so what are we doing with the rose quartz? Okay, it wants to just lay on your heart chakra, so I'm just going to put it there for a little bit. Just make sure that you actually... Okay, yeah, you have what's called like an energy mismatch with it, so I'm going to correct that as well. Hold. Hold. Okay. Hold. Hold. called, okay, so it's just with the right side where you have the imbalance, which is the sharing side, you know. Good. Good. So we've corrected the energetic allergy to rose quartz, so we're just gonna let that work for a minute. So like with this question, what kind of resistance, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, is prevalent in my environment? I think it's really interesting because the fourth house, which is where we are working with this whole balancing with the black moon there and everything, like that's all just connected to your low self-esteem through the financial meltdown. The fourth house is like our home, right? It's our environment. So it's again looking at the resistance, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and all these levels that is prevalent in your environment. Okay, that's enough. Good. Do anything else for the question? Yes. What else do we need to do? Chakra. Okay, what you need is spray of aromatherapy, essential oil. So I have, like, my company makes these astrology blends, and the sprays are really good for the aura because it's easy to use, but the aura is your ascendant, and you're ascendant in Sagittarius, so it wants a spray of Sagittarius. I do it for myself too. I have Sagittarius somewhere in my chart. Okay, that's good. So anything else for the question? No, perfect. Okay, now are we able to work into familiarity? Yes. Do we need more information? Yes. Okay, so in relation to familiarity, hold. Okay. Okay, hold. Okay, yeah, this is, yeah, it wants to hold it, huh? Okay, so it's conscious and hidden deep survival issues. Who's the priority? The hidden deep survival first. Need more information? Yes. The chart. No. An archetype. Okay, so. Okay, so it's the Fool. This is the tarot card of the Fool. Do we need more information? There's another card. Okay, it's the first line. And the Magician. Okay. Oh, that one switched in here. Okay, good. So in relation to these, okie dokie. So this is Uranus and Mercury. Interesting also, Uranus and Mercury are in opposition today, and that's happening in your 11th house and 5th house. Nice. Very nice. So this is like, you know, moving out of the familiar ways of thinking. I love it. This is the perfect day for this balancing. Okay? Wonderful. So we're ready to balance it out? Okay, what are we doing? Affirmation. Okay, so we need an affirmation. So I'm going to give you an affirmation, and it's going to help you with all this. So Uranus, the Fool, is all about being fearless. The Magician is all about intention. being fearless with your intentions. Wow, I just felt release. Okay. Okay, so what's coming up is absorption. Absorption. So my absorption processes are fully hydrated. Perfect. Okay. My absorption processes are fully hydrated. So the image I get is like a sponge, you know, that absorbs the water, and you know, it's lush and it's full of life, and you know, you can wring it out and get rid of that water and then absorb it again and then wring it out, and it's a nice image. Okay, so in relation to the full and the magician, hold, perfect, and hold. He's laughing because he cannot. It's different. We always talk about it because it's always funny for him to get. No matter how hard he tries to hold or not hold, it just, you know, it just does what it does. Okay, so because it's communicating with the subconscious brain. Okay, so these are finished. So we were just reprogramming with the tarot. If you have a problem with an archetype, it's something you want to fix, right? Because they're the blueprint of all reality. So my absorption processes are fully hydrated. And so let's see with the opposition. Yeah, very good. I love it. Okay. Familiarity. Nice. Wonderful. So we balanced out the familiarity emotion, and well, let me just double check here. Let me just check them all. Good. Familiarity. Yep. Yeah, we balanced out familiarity and the distraction. It's very good. Financial meltdown has been balanced out for today. Low self-esteem. Let's just double check. Hold. Yeah. Good. So it was really just these emotions. House. Hold. Good. Hold. Good. In relation to esteem. Hold. Okay, low self-esteem is still there. We need to go. What's the next one? Okay, feeling like a loser. Okay. Feeling like a loser. So what do we need to do? Okay. Bring the arms up like this. Up here and hold. No. Okay. Okay, so this is just connected to fear. I'm just kind of processing this out. Stress and fear on being a loser, losing things, being a loser, whatnot, XYZ. So the body has a very, the body's like a puzzle. It has a very specific way that it wants to be balanced. It has a very specific way that it wants to be healed and processed out. That's what I do in my work. I figure out what that way is and we work with it. So just because it didn't show up today doesn't mean it's not an issue. It just means it's not ready right now. Arms up. Hold. Beautiful. Try it again. Hold. Thank you. Feeling like a loser. Perfect. Anything else we need to do today? Okay, so we're done for today. Thank you very much for being the example. Let me just check. 3 points. Health is good.
Health is good. It's good.
I got it. Perfect. Okay. Just programming the body. Hold. Okay, and then what I also do, of course, is program a crystal for you, and I'll send it over as well. And then I'll get Philip back being Philip again. So thank you for volunteering and to be a good demo for the session, and I hope this helps anybody who's watching. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I hope this balancing helps. I'm gonna do the closing ritual now, but I'm not gonna film that, so I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye bye.